Yo, what's up guys, it's CJ and we are back, finally back, with another update video after a long 2 months. The last update that we actually covered was the fortifications update, and there's been a couple of things that have been added into the game, and obviously today there's a brand new patch which has landed. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little look at the patch notes. We're not going to go through all of them in detail, we're just going to go through some of them, and then we're going to skip ahead and show you some of the new items that have been added into the game. So first things first, we are going to look at the big thing that they've added into the patch, which is server optimizations. So we all know that there was an issue with lag, and especially when you drove through towns which had a lot of loot inside them, or just general mass amounts of rendering to do, we would always get lag, stutters, etc. So I've tested this out and I will show you, and you will see exactly how the lag has been influenced. But I have noticed a big difference. They made it up to kind of 5 times faster in terms of processing, so really good. Server optimization should always come first through content, because if you don't have performance, then in my opinion you're not going to have a good server. And there's a little hidden message here. I will not really read this. If you guys want to, you can just pause the video and you can look at it. A couple of things before we get into the guns. Now, the patch today brought a fame wipe and it also brought a lock wipe. So if you were playing on a server and you log back in and you've noticed that your fame's been set to 0 and you now have no locks, then don't worry, it was all planned. It happened to everybody, public and private. One of the things that has been brought up about these locks is whenever the servers restart, there's a visual bug in which your claim doors and locks will disappear. So all you need to do is hang tight. If you do have another lock and you've only put one on it, as soon as you put the second and third one on, your locks will obviously show back up again. But I'm assuming that come another server restart, these are going to disappear and it'll look like you don't have locks on the door, when in reality you actually do. Now, into the 2 new weapons of this update, which is the M1891, which is pretty similar to the M1. It's a 5-shot bolt action rifle. You can actually apply the Kar 98 scope for it and it will use the SVD ammo, and it's found in your basic military areas, airfield, bunkers, etc. Also onto the new pistol, which is the Eder 22. This uses standard 9mm bullets, and again, if you don't want a single fire reload, then you need to find the magazine for it. Big churches, your towns like C4, B1, these windows can all now be fortified, so that's a pretty nice addition, especially for the server that I play on, which is pretty good. This isn't actually in the game yet, but there's a new cooking and fire system. Basically, you can now put out the fire, however you can't fuel the fire as of yet with the actual fuels that they've listed, paper, etc. The more fuel that you put in it, essentially the longer it's going to burn. You'll see there that the wooden plank is going to burn for an hour, so that's something that obviously will be pushed over the line pretty shortly. Moving on to some bug fixes. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these. The main one was basically you could loot boxes through walls, so that bug has now been confirmed as fixed, which is really good. You could also clip through and you could pick up objects and chests through walls and ceilings, so that's been fixed. And then you've obviously got a couple of field of view issues as well. Quality of life changes. Now we've got the opening and closing of doors can now be heard up to a maximum of 25 meters. Player footstep sounds have been lowered a little bit. Distinct sounds for switching between auto and single fire mode. Right, this is the one that I thought was going to be a little bit different, because the sounds is fine, however it would have been cool if we had a visual animation so that we could actually see what we were putting it onto. That was kind of what I was hoping would happen with that. However, we can't be too picky and choosy. Maybe that will come in a later update. At least we have a certain way of figuring out if we're on auto or single fire mode. Added additional checks for dragging items. Should fix the issue with using items through walls because of clipping, so that's another good fix. Implemented scrolling through admin command suggestions, so that is another nice addition. And if you do own a server, you'll now notice that there's an implemented server log for chat. Early anti-access cheat improvements, EAC, and we have various server and client optimizations, the big one obviously that came on that. So in general, I have to be honest, it wasn't quite the content update that I was expecting. If you have watched Raykit's video, then you would have seen some of the content that's looking to come in the game, especially the new SUV. So there was a little bit of a disappointment when we didn't see that. However, it's obviously not Ray's fault or the devs. They've ran into some problems when they've been doing the update, and there's no point in pushing out something if it isn't working. So I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing that along with some other cool new items in the near future. So I'm going to jump straight into the gameplay. I'll show you guys the new guns, I'll show you a couple other things, and we will just take it from there. Okay, so another thing that was implemented as well, guys, was the sounds for the changing from auto to single fire. So as you can see just now, we are on auto, the sound, single. So it's a light click for auto, then it's more of a kind of faint, echoey click for auto. Hey guys, so let's jump into the new guns. So as you can see here, we have our M1891, which is using the Kar98 scope. You just attach that without the use of a rail, and then you have your SVD bullets, which you can just manually load into the gun by just pressing R or whatever you have your reload button set to. Now we're going to show you the distinct noise that this makes. I'm going to go into first person just so you guys get to see. It does actually look pretty cool, especially with the scope on. And it's a one shot, it's pretty nice, obviously aiming for the head. Let's check the body. 3, going to 4. Maybe the zombie's just super. But yeah, you can see the distinct noise that it does make. It is a pretty nice action, especially when you fire and then reload it as well. So that takes 5 shots to knock down a fat zombie aiming at the body. So like I said, the new gun as well that we have is the Eder 22, and I'll show you guys using this just now as well. See if we can take out these 2 puppets. Now I've got to be honest, I can't tell too much of a difference from the 9mm. I do have both guns on me right now, so I will show you. Yeah, that's basically the Eder. As you can see here, it isn't as accurate. There is a little bit of recoil and especially a little bit of sway when you change it. Now let's go to the 9mm and we'll just do a little bit of testing. See, there isn't much of a difference on that in terms of sound. They are pretty similar. There's just a slight more of a bang to the Eder. So yeah, a nice update in terms of the 2 new guns. The M1 seems to be a lot more powerful and pretty readily accessible, especially in these military areas. So we are going to jump into another test, which is going to be moving a car. Okay, so what we're going to do just now is we're going to take a little drive and we're going to go through a town to see if we get any issues with the server. The main thing that this update was released for was to fix the server performance and optimize it further. However, what we have noticed, or what I've noticed personally, is from when this patch was launched, is that I'm still getting lag stutters. It hasn't made a massive difference. I definitely cannot see it being 5 times. There is small bits of improvement, but nothing too major to call it 5 times. I haven't noticed any difference in terms of rendering. It still seems to be at the same pace, and as you can see there, I'm still getting a little bit of freezing whenever I drive through. I've drove through this town many a times, and let's see if we get any stuttering that's out of the usual. Still getting some small spikes. We'll take another detour and we'll go through the bottom of the town to see if we get any more freezes. But it's relatively smooth. It's not anything majorly game breaking, but again, it's pretty much standard to what we had before. Now you can see there we are freezing up now as it renders in more of the town, so to call it 5 times, I mean, I definitely cannot see it. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of feedback to the devs, and there may just be a couple of things that we're missing. Oh, okay. Random guy there just shooting a puppet. So, in terms of the performance, I haven't noticed the difference, like I said. The update itself, there was a couple of new things in it, but not as much as I was hoping for. So hopefully in the next week when they release the 3-month roadmap, we'll see a lot more content coming into the game, and we'll get a better look at where the devs have got insight for the future in terms of NPCs, etc. But if you like this video, guys, and you're still enjoying SCUM, let me know in the comments. Please remember to check out the server. All this footage has been taken from the Scums of Anarchy Gang RP server, which I own and run with a group of dedicated admins. It's a great place to be, the community is absolutely amazing, so check us out. I'll drop a link in the description, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time for more SCUM.